Welcome back to Travel with Kim and Dave. We're a husband and wife travel team, and it's our passion. Another trip that was on Dave's bucket list was to go to the Running of the Bulls. What was the reason? How did you get interested in of the Bulls?
Well, it's from a lifetime of seeing a 30-second clip of people running up a narrow alley, seemingly running away from a dozen bulls. They would show it on the news every July since I've been a kid.
Hmm.
And I've seen it. I've seen it once a year briefly and thought to myself, there's something similar to the pyramids and some of the other things we've done. Here's something I'd like to go see for myself in person. And that's what led to you and I going out to Pamplona, Spain.
Yeah. So we just decided to go for it. We thought, let's just check out the pricing, and we didn't even know where to start, but online we found www.runningofthebulls.com,
Yep.
and they were amazing. They took care of everything, not our flights. We had to make our own flights, but
Yep.
yeah, we flew to Barcelona. We took American Airlines from
Right.
Boston to Philly,
Yep.
and then Philly to Barcelona, because you do have to take a train to Pamplona. So we thought, we'll stay in Barcelona a couple days, and we stayed in a really great hotel called the Mercer Hotel, tucked in this little alleyway. It was so cute. So we stayed in that hotel a couple nights, I guess, and then
Good.
took a train to Pamplona on July 8th. How long was that train ride?
About 3 hours.
Yeah.
And that's high speed. That's 180 miles an hour, one of those bullet trains through the countryside from the ocean, from the Mediterranean, Barcelona, all the way up to northern Spain near the border with France.
What I thought was cool when we got to our destination from the train in Pamplona, or actually, I don't know if the train take us right into Pamplona?
It sure did. Yeah.
Okay. Yep. We had a driver with a sign, which is kind of cool when you're
Yep.
tired and you don't feel like looking for anything. There's our name. So Running of the Bulls provided the car, um, and the transfer, and
Yep.
he took us to our hotel.
Good afternoon, everybody. Reporting from Pamplona, Spain, from our hotel here, the Castillo. And 2 o'clock in the afternoon, our time here in Spain. Give you a little panoramic view back into the old town. Appears to be some kind of smoke or fire going on downtown. And Kim and I are going to go get our Running of the Bulls outfits, take the shuttle, go back into town, and we will do a little exploring. But for now, here we are, ready for the Running of the Bulls in Pamplona, Spain. Beautiful room, beautiful lobby, fantastic restaurant, had everything in the world. And they also had a little kiosk set up for those of us who were there purely for the Running of the Bulls. So this company really made it easy for us to get our hands on our little outfits that we're not required to wear, but it's recommended that you wear the all white, the white shirt, the white pants, and then, of course, the red belt and the red scarf.
Let me see the
And
front of that. I
the
think that
front.
might have been mine because it looks too small for you.
Yep.
Right. And so I thought, okay, we have to wear all white, white shirt,
Yep.
white pants, red bandana,
Correct.
and a red belt. I said,
Yep.
I'm not wearing that. I'm sorry. I'm gonna just dress in my cute clothes. But then we saw every single person wearing that outfit. So it stood out more if you didn't wear the outfit. So
Right.
you had to wear you didn't have to, but to in order to feel like you were part of the group, you had to wear
Yep.
that.
Well, here's the problem. If you weren't wearing it, uh, people had the right to throw drinks at you.
Oh yeah.
And the
Forgot
reason
about that.
was, since you're not wearing the white and the red, you're not having any fun. So they have the right to throw drinks at you. So instead of risking having alcohol and other things thrown at us, we simply caved in, wore the white shirt, the white pants, the red belt, and then the red scarf.
Yeah.
So, and that's what everybody was wearing.
And we arrived the day before the actual running of the bulls. So we went in town wearing that outfit. Remember? We and so from the shuttle to where the running the old Pamplona, which is so cool, there was a shuttle back and forth to and from our hotel every
Yep.
half hour or something like that. So
Yep.
that was very convenient because you could just come and go as you please. So that
Yep.
first day we went down there and it was just a huge party.
Oh, it was, sure,
It's just,
absolutely. It was nonstop. There was the alcohol was all over the ground, all over the tar, outside every venue. Every venue was packed. It was overflowing everywhere you went to try to eat or to drink or just walking. And there was a
but
whole bunch of little bands marching through town. It was like being in New Orleans at Mardi Gras.
I loved it though. It was crowded and a party scene in a good way. It was a fun, uplifting way.
And maybe I should explain what it is that we went to, what the Running of the Bulls
Yeah.
is. Um, this began in the northwest of Spain back in the 14th century. So it's been going on for hundreds of years. And it occurs between July 6th and July 14th every year. The first bull running is always on July 7th and continues for 7 or 8 mornings in a row at 8 a.m. So this whole thing is called the San Fermin Festival. And
Hmm.
of course, the rest of the world has known it as the Running of the Bulls. And to be able to run with the bulls, first of all, you have to be at least 18 or older. You have to run in the same direction as the bulls. You cannot incite the bulls, and you cannot be intoxicated, which I think a lot of the runners may have violated that one particular rule there at the end from
Well,
my
I actually
personal.
think they just stayed up all night. They
Yeah, they
never,
did. Sure. Yeah, the
yeah.
partying is overnight. It's like to me, it reminded me of like a gigantic fraternity from the University of Southern Maine, where they're up all night. They're drinking from midnight to 8 a.m. And when that gun goes off, indicating that the bulls have been released, here they come, and we're going to show you film footage of the actual run.
So the running of the bulls was actually the next morning, and from the hotel, we had to be at the shuttle at 6:30 in the morning. Um, and it took us all the way down. I think we had two different groups, either numbers or colors or something like that. Um,
Yep.
so we got out of our shuttle and it was very, very crowded. And our guide had a sign that they held up high so we could just follow the guide to our balcony, which we didn't realize people rent these balconies out. They live there full time, or maybe not full time, but they rent the balconies out. So I remember finally going down to the balcony way down at they call it Dead Man's Corner. And we went up and this really, really nice little old lady let us all in and she had coffee and pastries.
Yep.
And then we walked out to the balcony and was like, what? It was just so surreal. Remember that? That we
Sure
were
do.
there? Like, it
Yeah.
was like an out of body experience.
Yep. Yeah, we were 3 flights up from the ground level where the bulls and the people were going to be running by. So it was a perfect vantage point. You could see it was comfortable. Inside the apartment that we were in, they also had a big screen TV that was showing everything going on live, running the
Right.
bulls for that day. And we had a balcony all to ourselves. It wasn't inexpensive. I think we paid 150 or $200 per person to have the rights to get on that balcony, but it was a great investment. It
Oh,
was
well,
worth it.
I don't know how else you would have done it. You
Hey,
just,
you could stand down on the street
y-
behind the wooden barriers, I guess. You don't have to be in a balcony. You can stand right there, right in that little narrow passageway behind wooden fencing, which they set up every morning.
yeah. And probably people want to know if we ran with the bulls. I actually thought maybe I want to just kind of pretend like I'm running and then
Yep.
come back out and just so I could say I ran with the bulls.
Yep.
But we didn't do that. I kind of wish I did
Yeah.
actually, but then we would have been down on the ground level and wouldn't have been able
Right.
to see.
Exactly. Right.
No.
Yeah.
So
And it looks pretty dangerous. And these are six bulls and six steers that they release at 8 a.m. every morning at the end of town. They open up gates, the bulls start running, and people start running, and the whole thing is on. It takes about 2.5 minutes. And then the point where they feel like they've reached the end of the line of the actual run is the bullfighting ring, which we'll talk about a little bit later on.
so yeah, and also included obviously you could stay there or take the shuttle back, which left every half hour. There was a meeting point for our shuttle and it was a marked shuttle. We went back for the 4:30 cocktails with John Hemingway,
Yep.
which was really cool. He was in like a little room at the hotel.
Yep. Well,
He's
who is John Hemingway?
well, he's Hemingway's what's Hemingway's first name? Ernest
Ernest
Hemingway's
grandson.
grandson.
Yep.
And so he told us stories about his grandfather. He remembers his grandfather. And he also wrote this book. I got a signed copy of his book. I haven't even looked at this in a long time, but I don't know if you can see that, but it was just really surreal listening to him talk, Ernest
Yep.
Hemingway's grandson.
Yep. And the reason for the significance for Ernest Hemingway is that he wrote a book um, in the early 1900s, which revealed this whole running of the bulls event in northern Spain. The world didn't know about it. It
Right.
was a very localized thing that they did for hundreds of years until Ernest Hemingway himself was there, saw it, and wrote about it. And that book, that story, took this Running of the Bulls festival and made it a global thing to go to. And that's how
It
we
was
ended up there.
called The Sun Also Rises, right? The
I think so.
book. And then
Yep.
it was also made into a movie, which
Yep.
didn't we watch that before we left or something? Or maybe when we came back.
Yeah. One or the other. Yep.
Yeah, that was really interesting to listen to his grandson. Um, he's also a very good writer. Imagine that.
Yep.
So I think the next day we went back. This is all include. Oh no, wait. That night there was a dinner for us, also included.
Yep.
Um, at 9 o'clock at night at the Chez Balagu restaurant. I'll list that below.
Yep.
Um, and the only thing is, I mean, it was a great meal. It's a little bit late for Americans to eat at 9 o'clock at night. So I think that's the only one we went to, even though they were included. I mean, a lot of people would just go to it anyway because it's included. But we ended up eating at little pubs, street food and pub food that we could get earlier around 5, 6 o'clock because we had to wake up so early. We wanted to get in bed early, and the 9 o'clock eating time just doesn't work for us. But we did it one night; it was great.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah. Well, it was difficult, and it's a standard thing in Spain. I would imagine in other places in Europe, but in Spain, starting to eat that last meal of the day, whatever you call it, dinner or supper, starts at 9 p.m. and later. And when you're an American coming across the Atlantic Ocean and your body and your brain are trying to adjust to a 6 hour time difference, eating at 9 p.m. can be a little bit on the difficult side.
Yes. And we should point out there was also a bullfight included in this. Like, was that, I can't remember if that was the same night as the first running of the bulls.
I think so. I think at 6:30 p.m. we went to the bullfighting ring, and it has a name, and I can't remember the name of the bullfighting ring, but we ended up there. It's made of concrete. It dates back hundreds of years. The seating was a little on the rough side. There were no chairs or seats or even wooden benches. It's concrete that we were sitting
That's
on,
right. I forgot
and
about that.
we were mushed in pretty close together, wearing our white and red running of the bull outfits. And
And of course, I
there's
bought this
Kim's hat.
cute
That's
hat.
right. Yep.
I had to buy something. I think this is all
And
I bought.
and to talk about bullfighting, and we're going to talk about it, I guess.
I
I
didn't
was
like it.
excited to see it. No, and after watching it for a little while, I realized I thought I was headed to a real bullfight where a matador was going to take on a bull, and with a red cape and all that jazz. And it started that way, so I thought, pretty cool, beautiful sunny day. I'm in Spain. It's 6:30 p.m. We've had a
It
great
was a real
day.
bullfight. I don't even know what you're talking about. It was a real bullfight, was it not?
Well, no, it wasn't. A real bullfight to me would be a matador against a bull. That's a real bullfight, and that's not what we witnessed at all.
Oh,
What we witnessed were other people also in the bull ring that would come along and stab the bull, stab it behind the head in the neck area or something like that. There were guys that would come running out of nowhere, give it a quick stab and run away. And then the matador would go there and do his thing with the cape and make the bull hole, hole, and all that jazz. And then there were guys on horses, and the horses had padding on their legs and their bodies. So the bull, even if the bull went after the horse, it was padded, it was armored. And those guys on horses did the same thing. They were stabbing the bull with
hmm.
something to make it weaker. So
I
as
just
I
didn't like
watched, yeah,
watching that.
no, and to
But
me, I was looking for a fair fight. A man dressed up in a certain way, fighting a bull with a sword and a cape. And if you win, you win. If the bull wins, he is set free for life, according to the way it's supposed to work. But what we watched were a group of people weakening the bull as the matador did his thing, off and on and off and on, as somebody came along and made the bull a little weaker and a little weaker. So we both were uncomfortable with what we were watching.
watching a bull die, yeah.
Right. It's a medieval thing that they're doing, and the crowd loved it and roared and all that jazz. But I felt pretty uncomfortable watching what I was watching. It's just not what I thought I was going to see. And, when they're dragging the bull out of the ring with a pair of gigantic Clydesdales, it just has a bizarre look to it that I lacked comfort with. But,
Yeah, but I mean,
you know,
it was good to experience.
yeah,
I had
sure.
never been to a bullfight before, but I mean, you don't have to do that if you don't want to. The running of the
Mhm.
bulls part was my by far my favorite, but it was just I think I'm glad I experienced it. I
Yep.
can't necessarily say I liked the cruelty involved with that, but I'm glad I
Right.
experienced it. It was just part of the atmosphere.
Yep. Yeah, sure.
Um,
Just walking around downtown Pamplona was phenomenal. Those little alleyways, and through the course of the day after the running of the bulls, it's party, and it's those little tiny jazz bands that were marching through the city really energized the crowd.
for
I'm not
sure.
that they needed a lot of energy because but it was exciting. It was fun. And the running of the bulls itself at 8 a.m. every morning, that was really the highlight of being there to witness that.
Is it the same date every year?
Yes, it is.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So July 9th. And then so on the 11th, we were our car picked us up to go back to the air train station
Right.
to go back to Barcelona. And you know, this was just one of my favorite trips just because it was so impactful. Like it's just so surreal because you're right. I've seen those both the running of the bulls on television since I was a kid as well. And it was just so
Hmm.
surreal that we were there. It just was amazing. I would definitely try to do it if I can, if you can. And the street that the bullfight, not the bullfight, the running of the bulls took place on was adorable. It was just the cutest narrow street with all those balconies and just it was an amazing, it was a photographer's dream.
Hmm.
So
Yep.
really, is there anything else you want to add?
Well, it was an experience of a lifetime arriving into the city of Pamplona. It's like a dream come true when you're from the United States and now you're suddenly in Europe and you're in northern Spain, the Basque area. Um, it's quite a sight to see and then quite an experience to be in downtown Pamplona instead of watching 30 seconds on American TV in July of any given year and seeing just a quick running of the bulls. To be there was the experience and to see the people and to hear. And the weather was phenomenal too. We had great weather all the days we were there.
Yes.
So,
Yep. And when you're down in the old Pamplona area, there are languages spoken from all over the world. But I will point out that the hotel that we stayed in housed a lot of English speaking people. Do you remember that?
oh, yeah, sure. Yeah.
And then there are other hotels runninginthebulls.com uses, and I think they kind of try to group everybody together. So there were Americans, Canadians, and British people that spoke English at our hotel, which was helpful because we could socialize with some of them.
Yep.
I believe we came back one day to that hotel, just took the shuttle for a nice lunch instead of trying to find the street food and the pub food, which was cool. But
Yep.
yeah, a lot of drunk people down there, but it was super fun. I had to hold your hand to get through the crowds, remember?
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah. It was packed. It's the San Fermin Festival. It attracts thousands of people from throughout Europe, especially the young men that are actually running with the bulls. They seem to be primarily young European men that are
Yeah, so
coming
all
there,
you young girls out there, get your plane tickets now.
right? Sure, why not?
And this is the kind of vacation that I would go back to. I
Sure.
think I would go back. Some of them I wouldn't. Um, but yeah, it was so fun because it was just hard to take it all in. It was crazy. But I'd like to bring somebody this time, I think. You.
Right.
All right. Well, I think that's all we have to say about Running to the Bulls. Highly, highly, highly recommend it. Very, very easy to do through www.runningtothebulls.com. And we'll post all of that stuff in the description below. So until next time, thanks. See you later.